Hey there, welcome to the College Investor Audio Show. We are so glad you're joining us today as we talk about FERPA Waiver. And the question we get asked, should parents force their college kids to sign this thing? Well, we're going to get to it in just a second, but I do want to remind you to hit that subscribe button so you're always up to date whenever we post new content. You can also share this with your family, friends, whoever you think could use this information. Be great. And follow us all over social media. We're pretty much everywhere you are. Just search for the words The College Investor and you'll find us, and we'd love to help you along in your money journey and college journey as well. All right, let's get to it. So the FERPA waiver. All right, the transition from high school to college does represent a massively major milestone in a young person's life, that's for sure. College students gain all kinds of new responsibilities and freedoms and opportunities for personal growth. So with all this newfound independence, does come a shift in legal protections, specifically through the Family Educational Rights and Privacy Act, or FERPA. So many parents accustomed to having access to their child's academic records throughout high school are kind of surprised when they no longer automatically have that same access once their child enters college. So as a result, some parents might consider requesting or even pressuring their child to sign a FERPA waiver. Is this a good idea? So today, we're going to explore the nuances of FERPA, the implications of signing a waiver, and then the potential consequences of forcing a college student to comply. First up, what is FERPA? You might be surprised that the Family Educational Rights and Privacy Act is a federal law that was passed in 1974. This was to protect the privacy of students' educational records. Once a student turns 18 or attends a post-secondary institution, FERPA rights are transferred from the parent to the student. This legal shift means that parents can no longer just automatically access their child's educational records, including academic grades, financial aid information, and any disciplinary actions without the student's express written consent. This change in access might feel a little bit abrupt to some parents, particularly those who've been heavily involved in their child's academic life up until college. In high school, it's common for parents to regularly check grades, discuss performance with teachers, monitor other aspects of their child's education. They had the right to do that. So, the FERPA waiver, when signed by a student, allows parents to regain that access to all those records during college. However, this raises an interesting question. Should parents actually push their child-bound student or children to sign this thing? All right, so here's the case for signing a FERPA waiver. From a parent's perspective, there are a ton of compelling reasons as to why a child should sign a FERPA waiver. For one, it's kind of common for parents to continue financially supporting their child or college-aged children, whether through tuition payments, housing costs, or just general living expenses. We're still supporting you, right? So in this case, signing a FERPA waiver may seem like just a logical trade-off. After all, if they're funding a child's education, shouldn't they be able to check in on their performance just to ensure their investment's paying off? In addition to financial considerations, parents may also be concerned about their child's overall well-being. College life can be very demanding, and it's not uncommon for students to struggle with the challenges of balancing academics, social life, and then self-care. So if a student is facing academic difficulties, mental health challenges, or other stressors, parents might feel that, having access to all those records can help them intervene early and just provide that support when they need to. Furthermore, parents who co-sign student loans or are deeply involved in the financial aid process might want to ensure that their child is meeting the necessary requirements for scholarships and grants. If a student falls below a certain GPA or fails to meet credit requirements, that could result in the loss of financial aid. A worst-case scenario for most families, for sure. Having access to financial records could instead help parents stay informed about any potential issues before they escalate. So here's the case against signing a FERPA waiver. All right, on the flip side, students often have strong reasons for resisting the idea of signing a FERPA waiver. For a whole bunch of students, college represents a key period of personal growth and independence. Managing their academic and personal lives without constant oversight, kind of a key part of that journey. So, forcing students to sign a FERPA waiver might feel like a sign that their parents don't trust them to successfully manage their new responsibilities. So, the pressure to meet certain academic expectations or to explain every single decision to their parents can kind of add unnecessary stress. College is a time when students are learning to balance responsibilities, manage their time effectively, cope with all the setbacks. Some students may worry that giving their parents access to their records could lead to additional pressure if they get a poor grade, if maybe they struggle in a difficult course or change majors or just simply take a non-traditional path. There's also the issue of privacy. A student might feel that some aspects of their college experience, including the classes they take, how they spend their time, or academic setbacks, are kind of personal matters to them to go ahead and navigate on their own. This doesn't necessarily reflect a lack of maturity or responsibility, but rather a desire to exercise their right to make independent decisions without the fear of parental judgment. Now the question: should parents force the issue? Okay. The short answer is no. Compelling a college student to sign a FERPA waiver undermines the very autonomy that college is meant to foster, right? So, by pushing a child to sign such a document, parents can run the risk of damaging trust and complicating parent child relationships during an already sensitive period of transition. So, instead of enforcing the waiver, parents might find it a little bit more productive to approach the conversation with a sense of mutual respect and understanding. Open communication here is key. Rather than making demands, parents can frame the discussion around their personal concerns, whether financial, academic, or related to well-being, and encourage their child to share their thoughts and feelings on the matter too. By building trust through regular supportive communication, parents can foster a relationship where their child feels comfortable sharing important updates and asking for help when they need it, without feeling micromanaged. Also, consider some alternatives to this. It's really important to note that signing a FERPA waiver doesn't have to be an all-or-nothing decision either. Some colleges do allow students to grant partial access to records, like financial aid information, while keeping all their grades private. This option offers a middle ground where students retain their sense of independence while also giving their parents access to critical financial data that might impact their ability to support their child's education. In families where finances are the primary concern, students may feel more comfortable allowing access to only financial records. And then parents can remain informed about tuition payments, scholarships, loan statuses, all that stuff, without also delving into academic performance, unless maybe a serious issue arises. Teach responsibility through independence. Part of the reason parents want access to academic records is just to ensure their student is on track to graduate. But it's important to remember that learning to manage academics and life independently is kind of a key part of the college experience and what you've been, raising them to do. Your student will be making decisions that affect their future. And while you want them to succeed, it's important to give them the space to grow, even if that means allowing them to fail a little bit along the way. Encouraging responsibility without demanding access to every detail of your student's academic life can possibly lead to a healthier parent-child relationship. And parents can still offer guidance, encouragement, and support without accessing all of the records. Trust your student to handle their academic progress, and then let them know that you're there to help if they need it. Here are some final thoughts for today. The decision of whether to sign a FERPA waiver is ultimately a personal one, of course, and every family is going to approach it differently. For some, the waiver offers some peace of mind and just a way to stay involved in the financial side of their child's college experience. For others, it can feel like an unnecessary intrusion into a student's newfound independence. So the best approach? It's all up to you. Start by having an open and honest conversation with your student. Talk about your concerns. Listen to their perspective and see if there's kind of a compromise that works for both of you. Whether your child decides to sign the FERPA waiver or not, maintaining trust and open communication is the key to supporting your student during this pivotal time. And that is our show for today. I hope it was helpful. And if you have any more questions about this, you can also access this article at thecollegeinvestor.com. While you're there, we do have links and all kinds of resources for you as a parent and tons of stuff for your student as well if you need it. Again, that's thecollegeinvestor.com. Follow us, like us, ask us questions on social media too. Just search for The College Investor and you'll find us. Thanks again for stopping by today, and we'll talk to you again real soon.